Oruna Otefe had always been the girl everyone admired. Tall, dark-skinned, and strikingly beautiful, she was the queen of attention. During her days in the uni, she was called the rich kid. Every girl wanted to be her, and every guy wanted to date her. After graduation, she refused to get a job. My parents are wealthy. I don't need a job, she would say. With the wealth of her parents, Chief and Mrs. Otefe at her fingertips, she lived a life of luxury. Designer clothes, flashy cars, exotic vacations, nothing was ever out of reach. Despite her parents' best effort to instill values in her, Oruna had no patience for discipline. She dismissed their lessons about hard work and humility, believing her beauty and status were enough to carry her through life. She looked down on people who had to work for their success. I was born rich, and I'll always be rich, she often bragged. Then tragedy struck. One rainy evening, her parents were returning from a business meeting in Lagos when their car skidded off the road and crashed into a ditch. They died on the spot. The news shattered Oruna's world, but she was still too deep in grief to realize that her life was about to change forever. Days later, at the reading of her father's will, she sat confidently, expecting to inherit all his wealth. But her father, Chief Otefe, had been a wise man. He had foreseen the dangers of spoiling his only child. The terms of the will shocked her. She would inherit everything, but only if she started from the bottom, working as a junior clerk in Otefe's Holding, her father's company. What? Oruna screamed, unable to believe it. How can I be a clerk in my own father's company? But the will was clear. If she refused, the entire fortune would go to charity. The mansion, the cars, the bank accounts, everything. Within weeks, the reality of her situation hit hard. Without access to her father's wealth, she lost everything. The so-called friends who once praised her disappeared. The guys who once pursued her lost interest. People now talk about how unfortunate she is. The friends that once worshipped her now talk about her downfall. With no choice, Oruna resumed work as a junior clerk at Otefe's Holding. Her first day at work was a nightmare. The moment she stepped into the office, whispers and laughter filled the air. Employees who once bowed to her parents now smirked at her. Is this really Oruna? The same girl who used to wear Gucci and Prada, someone mocked. Now she's just a common office clerk. Oruna's pride burned, but she swallowed her anger. For the first time in her life, she had to wake up early, take the staff bus, and sit in a tiny cubicle doing tedious paperwork. She struggled with the simplest tasks, filling documents, making photocopies, even sending emails. She had never worked a day in her life, and it showed. But something changed. As days turned into weeks, she realized the people around her weren't beneath her. They were just hardworking individuals trying to survive. She learned to respect them. She watched them struggle to earn what she once took for granted. Slowly, humility replaced arrogance. She made her first real friend in Aisha, a fellow clerk who showed her the ropes. You have to put in the work, Oruna, Aisha advised one day. Nobody here cares about your past. If you want to move up, prove yourself. So, Oruna worked and worked very hard. She arrived early, stayed late, and asked questions. She started to understand business operations and even took an interest in learning beyond her role. Her hard work did not go unnoticed. Within a year, she was promoted to a supervisor, then to an assistant manager. The same people who had once mocked her now respected her, and when she finally earned the position of CEO on her own merits, Oruno realized she had become the woman her father always wanted her to be. She had lost everything, but in the end, she gained something far greater: wisdom, humility, and the strength to build her own empire. And this time, she did it not as Chief Otefe's spoiled daughter, but as Oruno Otefe, the self-made woman.